Hi everyone, welcome to the first edition of DocuTube, the show dedicated to all things documentary. This episode I'm going to be talking to Tomas Leach, the director of In No Great Hurry, 13 Lessons in Life with Saul Leiter. I first saw this film back in early 2013 when it premiered at the Thin Line Film Festival in Denton, Texas. Since then it's done really well on the festival circuit, it's screened all over the world, and it's now set for a limited US theatrical release as well. As the title suggests, the film is about Saul Leiter, an American photographer who spent a good part of 60 years photographing the streets of New York. Saul is a fascinating character, and the film is a very personal and intimate look into his life as it reaches its end. For Tomas, this was his first feature-length documentary. Before this, he's mainly directed big brand commercials, and I think he's really showing his versatility as a director here. On a sad note, since the filming of the documentary and my interview with Tom, Saul Leiter passed away last November. He was 89 years old.
So do you think there's a chance that I will make this film and you will say that I can't use it?
Well, I like to think I'm not going to do that. I might not care for the way I look these days because I think that I looked better when I was younger, but maybe I'm being unfair to the way I look now. Who knows? The matter is, there have always been people who like color. It's not as if I was the only person. I've been described as being a pioneer. Am I a pioneer? I don't know that I'm a pioneer. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I don't mind one way or the other. I go out with my camera and I take pictures because I enjoy catching certain moments. Of course, I don't know that I'm going to get what I'm going to get. It takes time.
You know, he's photographed the same neighborhood for 55 years, but he's shooting with the same lighter style in 2011. It's amazing. I think people are going to be really surprised.
I got a copy of his book, Early Colour, I think I got it in 2007 or 2008, and I was just amazed at how beautiful it was and how contemporary it all looked. You know, the images and the colours are really quite contemporary style. And there was nothing about him online, and I was flicking through it one day and trying to read about him online because there's a very short interview at the start of the book that's very interesting. There's nothing. So I got in touch with his gallery and I wrote to them and said, hey, maybe I could do an interview with Saul, thinking I'll just nip over there. Maybe I'll film him for a few days and I'll make a little short out of it. It'll be a fun week. I'll go and speak to a great photographer who nobody's met. So I flew to New York and turned up at his door, and he greets me with the words, "Why do people always want things from me?" And then walks back inside his house, having known that I've flown from the UK to the States to meet him. And he just turns back in, and I'm still on the doorstep thinking, do I go in? Was that his way of telling me he's not interested? And I sort of follow him in, and then in the walk up to his apartment, he's through his front door, he's like, you could be making a film about this person, or Boyard, even though he's dead, he'd be a great subject for a film. And you know, why don't you do this? Thomas, why don't you do this? Why? And then I sit down in his room and he starts grilling me, and we get on quite well. He finds me funny, I find him funny, it's good. And obviously at this point I'm realizing I'm not going to turn up and spend a couple of days filming with him and make a short, but I'll see how it goes. And then eventually we had this agreement of, I'll turn up, it'll just be me, we'll make the film one-on-one. If either of us doesn't like it at any point, we'll ditch the whole project. However far we are into filming, if we don't like it, we'll ditch it all. He was very fond of me after a while. After we'd settled on our filming rhythm, after we'd found this kind of way of working together, he was opening up to me and he was fond of me, and I was doing it in a way that I knew he appreciated the way I was making it. You know, it was just me. There'd been no other crew. There was no third party behind the film, so he didn't have to worry that they were going to take his words and use them in another context.
What makes anyone think that I'm any good? I am actually sometimes very good, but I shouldn't brag about it. When I consider all the beautiful things that have been done, my own achievements are rather minor. I'm not carried away by the greatness of Mr. Leiter. He's a minor figure and does not deserve to have a story about him. On the other hand, what can you do? You could start the thing with that.
When we found our rhythm, it worked out really well, but it would be, I'd go to his house at 11ish, I'd take coffee, we'd start talking, I'd slowly unpack equipment, start filming. A couple of hours later, we'd go for lunch. Either I'd bring the camera or I wouldn't. And then we'd do something else after lunch for an hour or so until we were tired. And then I'd go and back up the equipment and have the material and all of that. I was very comfortable talking about all kinds of subjects, which makes him so fascinating. He has no problem asking about money, sexuality, your taste, your dress sense, your home life. He knows he knows everything about me like that. He knows all of it. He knows whether I swear too much, whether I'm, all of these things. I took it to him in July when I had it cut and scored, but not graded, I think. And I turned up at his house, and he spent about the first half an hour telling me people he doesn't really speak to anymore because they've done bad articles about him. And he was laughing about this, and I was laughing and saying, "Saul, you're torturing me." And Margaret was saying, "Stop it, come on, you're bullying Thomas." And then he watched the film, and he laughed heartily through the first half, and then enjoyed the rest of it, and he has no complaints. He says, "What can I say? It's me." He says, "I can't argue with anything that's said, it's me." And he enjoyed it. He thinks it's too long because it's too much of him. But he found it funny. He thinks some of the bits where he's berating me in the film are funny. He thinks some of the shots are beautiful that I did. He likes my choice of his work, and he loves the music. So the music saved me.
I'm a person who likes to postpone things. I see no reason for being in a rush. When you consider many of the things that people treat very seriously, and you realize that they don't deserve to be treated that seriously, and many of the things that people worry about are not really worth worrying about. If I didn't do anything more than my little book, wouldn't that have been enough? I think it's going to be good. If it were edited properly, by avoiding too much that is serious.
So after all that, if you'd actually like to see the film, then there are a few options out there at the moment. If you go to the film's website, you can find a full list of all the screenings that are happening over the coming months. They are all happening in the US, so if you don't live in the US or you're not close to any of the cities, you can also buy the DVD on Amazon. And if you like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter, we'll also keep you updated if there are any other viewing opportunities that arise in the future. As far as I know, they are also working on a digital download that should be coming out soon. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more of these episodes in the future. And all that's left to say is thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.